Hey, let's just dive right into this explainer. If you've been staring at the alphabet soup of accounting qualifications, CA, ACCA, CIMA, CMA, and wondering which one is actually going to unlock the career you want, well, you're in the right place. Today, we're bypassing all the marketing hype to break down the core differences. This is literally a game changer for your career trajectory, so let's get into it.
We've got a pretty clear roadmap for today. We're going to look at the big career decision itself, map out the fundamental split between financial and management accounting, compare ACCA and CIMA directly, tackle the million-dollar question of which is easier, look at the salaries, and finally, help you figure out your perfect fit. All right, kicking things off with the big career decision itself, the ultimate accounting dilemma. The question that really keeps people up at night is, am I making the right investment of my limited time and energy? We completely get it. You're probably juggling a full-time job, trying to have a life, and burning your weekends studying. You absolutely need to know that the path you pick isn't needlessly harder or honestly less valuable for your specific goals than the alternative. You're putting in years of your life, so the strategy has to be spot on. But here's the thing, and it's a crucial realization. Difficulty is personal, not absolute. Let me say that again. Difficulty is personal. Neither path is inherently better or worse overall. It's really all about finding the right fit for your unique brain, your learning style, and the kind of environment where you just naturally thrive. So, moving on to the fundamental fork in the road, financial versus management accounting.
The best way to think about this split is like driving a car. You've got your rearview mirror, and you've got your windshield. Financial accounting is your rearview mirror. It's looking backward to report historical data to the outside world. Management accounting, that's your windshield. It uses the numbers internally to look forward and strategize for the road ahead.
So if we zoom in on financial accounting, this discipline is all about serving external stakeholders. We're talking investors, regulators, creditors, tax authorities. Because people outside the company are totally relying on this data, the work is strictly governed by really rigid frameworks. Think GAAP or IFRS. The ultimate goal here? Total compliance, pinpoint accuracy, and absolute transparency. No cutting corners. Now, management accounting completely flips that script. These accountants sit inside the business, working directly shoulder to shoulder with management and executives. They're crunching rate and volume analysis, doing price modeling, cost-benefit analysis, building budgets. And the kicker? They aren't bound by those strict formal reporting standards. Why? Because their goal isn't compliance. Their goal is creating a competitive advantage and keeping the operations running lean and mean. When you put these two worlds side by side, the contrast is honestly staggering. One side is highly structured, summarized, and periodic, the classic month-end or year-end close. The other side is incredibly granular, dynamic, and customized for daily operations. So you're not just choosing a test to pass here. You're literally choosing which side of this divide you want to live on for the rest of your career. Now that we understand the two worlds, let's map the actual global qualifications to them, starting with ACCA versus CIMA. If that financial accounting route sounds like your jam, qualifications like ACCA and CA are basically your golden tickets. ACCA is recognized in over 180 countries. It is a massive global passport. If you dream of working for a Big Four firm, diving deep into corporate audits, or mastering tax compliance, this is 100% your track. You're gearing up to be a statutory auditor, a tax consultant, or a traditional CFO. On the flip side, if you take the management accounting route with a CIMA or a CMA, you are training to sit at the table with executives and influence how a company actually operates day to day. This path is incredibly prized in multinational corporations, in tech, in manufacturing. You're not just auditing the numbers, you are actively using them. You're aiming for titles like business analyst, commercial finance manager, or financial controller, the folks who actively shape the business strategy. Okay, let's get to the question everyone is secretly wondering about. Which path is actually easier? Look, it's completely natural to want the path of least resistance. But we have to go back to our earlier rule. Difficulty is entirely subjective. There really is no universally easier test. What feels like a breeze for a highly detail-oriented rule follower might literally be a nightmare for a big-picture strategic thinker, and vice versa. What's actually fascinating is how perfectly these exams mirror the day jobs. ACCA demands exact formats, rigid rules, heavy calculations, and a super deep understanding of the standards. It is highly, highly structured. CIMA, though, drops you right into scenario-based case studies. It hands you incomplete data and a messy business context and basically asks you, all right, what's the smartest strategic call here? Honestly, if you take just one thing away from this entire explainer, let it be this.
ACCA tests your precise knowledge of the rules, while CIMA tests your business judgment in the gray areas. Just think about which of those two challenges excites you more, and you'll know instantly which one will feel easier to you.
All right, let's talk about the payoff, career growth, and of course, the salaries. Check out the trajectory here. Both paths tend to start at the exact same point at the entry level. But as you progress through your career, CIMA often pulls slightly ahead at the mid and senior levels. Why is that? Well, strategic, forward-looking roles that directly drive company profitability, think an operational CFO or a finance director, those roles frequently command a premium over strictly compliance-based positions. But hold on, you can't just look at the qualification in a vacuum. Your actual take-home pay is going to swing wildly based on outside factors. Like, where do you live? A job in London might pay 3 to 4 times more than the exact same role in an emerging market. What industry are you in? Tech generally pays a premium over traditional banking. And of course, company size. Massive multinationals are always going to have deeper pockets than local independent firms, no matter what letters you have after your name. So, bringing it all together, let's find your perfect fit so you can make your decision today. You should absolutely lean toward ACCA or CA if you are highly detail-oriented. If you love the deep satisfaction of a perfectly balanced sheet and you actually find comfort in clear, unambiguous rules, the financial accounting path is calling your name. You're going to thrive in that highly structured, precise environment. But if you're a strategic thinker who gets a little bored by pure compliance, if you want to solve complex business problems, optimize operations, and shape the future direction of a company, even when you don't have all the facts, then the management accounting path is definitely your best bet. CIMA, or CMA, will give you the exact toolkit to lead from the front. And hey, here's a fantastic bonus fact that should take some of the pressure off this choice. You don't always have to choose just one for your entire life. Because of reciprocity agreements between institutes, like the one between CICA and CIMA, for example, you can actually start on the path you're naturally drawn to right now, and then pretty easily pick up the other qualification later through a shortened, exempt pathway. It's a real win-win. So, when you strip away all the complex course codes and the salary charts, it really just comes down to one defining question. Do you want to report on the past, or do you want to strategize for the future? Whichever one you choose, the whole world of finance is changing incredibly fast right now with AI and automation, which begs the question, how will either of these roles even look in 10 years? But I suppose that's an explainer for another day. Get out there, start your journey, and go build an amazing career.